Namaste everyone. Very warm welcome to Satsang today. Sadhguru Shri Mujiji ki Jai. After Satsang got over yesterday, we were just joking around a bit and everything that we were saying, then we were saying, but God is here. It's like we said yesterday, the starting point is this. And then the mind will say, but something. And in response to the mind's but, you can have this big but which says, but God is here. Or but Guru is here. Or self is here. Guruji often says nothing is stronger than the holiness of your being. Something very innocent and beautiful I read many months ago, which stayed with me. Voices feeble, maybe I am whispering. Okay, let's see how it goes. Something very nice I read. It said, don't tell your guru how big your problem is. Tell your problem how big your guru is. It's very innocent and sweet, but it's very beautiful. And it is enough actually. It's the same as saying, but God is here. Surrender is like this. Very simple, very innocent sounding pointings. But something has to take. Something has to take. Within us, something has to catch on. Yes. Something that cannot be surrendered. Can we have another master key? If you find something that, okay, this I just can't surrender, then that which you cannot surrender, that you pull into your inquiry. And you'll come to the same recognition that the separate me never was there. There is nobody whose problem this is. Now, if the problem itself is that I want to play with this me longer, if the problem itself is that I want to play with this me a little longer, but I want to play with the spiritual me or the enlightened me or the whole journey of practices and siddhis and getting to peace of mind or something like that. then by all means play with that. But then don't say, I want to come to the end of this. What is the end? I want the absolute, the truth. I'm tired of this spiritual journey. Then say, I'm playing, I'm enjoying this. Why are you stopping me? Why you say to surrender everything? I'm really enjoying this. But suffering only comes when what we are saying is different from how we are playing. If on one hand we say, I want to come to the end of this now, and I'm saying, wonderful, it's your lucky day today, right now. It is the end of it. Then unless you want to still play with it, you will not pick up the butt. If you're done with it, then you're done with it. If you're not done with it, then play. Enjoy the play. There is nothing wrong with it. But play with the innocence of a child going to the playground. Otherwise, in the playground also you're crying, and when you're taken away from the playground also you're crying. Yes. Actually, there is no problem until the problem of me arrives on the scene. Yes. Yesterday we said, no, till Mr. Me comes or Mrs. Me comes. And this is the beautiful part of it, that it never comes actually. It just comes as an idea of it, as a notion of it. So when the notion of it comes, either we let it come and go and say it is the Sadguru's problem, or we say, who is this one? Or who is it talking to? Either question is the inquiry. But if we accept it without any basis, actually, because it doesn't have a basis, when we accept it without basis, then in the design of the world, suffering is bound to follow. Suffering is only the result of an uninquired thought, an accepted uninquired thought. If you have truly looked at the notion that is making you suffer, then the notion must dissolve. Because at the premise, as the basis of all notions, is the idea of the non existent me. So the spiritual journey is very simple. One main pointing is just row your boat gently down the stream. Allow everything to come and go. Life is just a dream. And the second part is that If there is something which is not making you merry, then you pick up that concept and say, who is it that this concept applies to? Why am I not finding freedom? Why don't I have better relationship? Why don't I have more money? Why can't I have a healthier body? These are the main notions. Find out if there is an I like that can have any of these things. And he says, Father Pushpa asked me to put up the Diwali lighting on balcony, and there was so much resistance. It reminded me of a joke. If you have told a man what to do, he'll get it done. You don't have to remind him every 6 months. It's not my advice to tell her that, okay? Yeah. These D's are very troublesome. Duality, firstly, is the basis of all the D's. There is a me and there is another. The D's of desire, doubt, doership. How come it's all these D's which are troublesome? When you come across these things, just say, I say it's God saying hello.
I was just thinking,
Drishti is not trouble. The Drishti D is the D of insight which takes away the other D's. If you hear this pointing that don't fill in the blank of I am dash, I am blank with anything, then the mind will lose all its power. Because all it has is suggestions to fill up that. make this pure presence I am into a notional idea I am something. Because that is effort, that is tiring. I know initially it can seem like to not attach, to not give that something can seem a bit of an effort. I know it may feel like that. But it is only because as we are returning to our naturalness, it has seemingly become unnatural. The habit is to attach. So in the breaking of the habit, it's like we've been carrying this something on our heads. Now everyone knows that it is the carrying of the something which is effort, but it can feel like it is the keeping down which is effort, because it seemed like we are just, I am this. It is part. The something is part of me. You see, it can seem like that appendage or whatever heavy box we are carrying of something is a part of me. Actually, it is not. So the inquiry does this, seeing that it is not, and the surrender does this, surrendering this box to a higher force. I don't have to carry it anymore. So all of spirituality is just this. Whether you do 500 push-ups a day to get here, or you just hear this, it's so clear. I am not that something which I always presume myself to be. And now I've let it go. So this can become an example, isn't it? This play happens because I am not strong like Pushpa. I am not. So after I am, don't put anything. You don't really have to. No matter how much you convince me that you have to, how much you convince yourself that you have to, you don't have to fill in the blank with anything at all. Anything that you put in the box is not the truth. It is an underestimation, an underselling of what you really are, a limitation. I'm saying get a taste of your immortal presence, your undying being, and you say, can I have fries with that? What's going on? Where's my Ananda? But taste your immortal presence. Tell me if this is true or not. But I'll say it's immortal only when there are 2 more teaspoons of sugar in this. So whatever the mind is trying to present to you as your freedom, it's only a bad Xerox, bad photocopy. Don't exchange this presence, your holy God presence, for any idea, any concept. Yes, it is the end of all your plans about yourself. It is the end of your story. I know you were building up to create this wonderful novel where at the end you were supposed to be this enlightened sage or something like that. But I'm saying forget about all that. At this moment, put the pen down. All your desires are handed over to existence, handed over to God. All that you have to do is hand it over to God. All the separation, all the duality now belongs to God. Play with me for a bit. Throw away your doubts for a day. You make a deal for a day, you can pick them up back tomorrow. If you like them, you miss them, you feel like your life is missing something, you pick up your doubt tomorrow. For today, you play with me. If this is not true, that your presence in this moment is enough. If this is false, then everything I have ever spoken is untrue. It is completely pointless. All these pointings have no purpose. If in reality, that which you are now is lacking something, And you have to help me with this. Now, what does the mind come and say? But this is not enough. There must be something more. Or I am not there yet. There's still something more I have to do. What else? What does it say? I really got it, isn't it? It could also be saying, easy for him to say, he doesn't have my life. Things like that. Nothing. Mind is not saying.
Be a test.
There should be a test. Is that what the mind is saying? What would the test have? Are you being your timeless presence? Are you being a limited notion? How do we make that exchange? Itself is
Certificate.
freedom certificate. What would it say?
This proves. This is to certify that.
That. Would I have a name there or no? This is to certify that Chaitanya never really existed. And therefore, anything we can certify about him is not applicable. Null and void.
Void is what we are looking for.
Void is what we are. Well, that's a big topic. If you're laughing at what the mind is saying, then it's very good. Don't make anything out of anything. Even this that you're saying that you've never disclosed, you've told us many times actually. Maybe you don't remember. This is what happens. The offers come from the mind and they say, okay, this is something really important. It's nothing. In the grander scheme of things, nothing is ever anything. Don't exchange your holy presence, my Father's feet, for anything at all. Now it is completely possible. Just now. You are always present as presence itself. You are always present as presence itself. And the person is always absent. You don't even have to become the person that gets rid of the person. As Bhagavan said, the thief pretending to get rid of the thief or catch the thief. Not one step you have to take, not 1 inch you have to move. The basket of individuality is empty right now. It is done. But if you put one peanut in it, it will feel like the full picnic basket is full. But the good news is that even if you did, there's nothing to worry about because it is empty now. Are you happy to have no notions about yourself? Let's see some hands. How many are happy to have no notions about it? Or there are some notions which you cannot do without. Some notions you can't do without. Throw them. Like,
When my hand goes up.
oh, it was it up. Rama, some notion that you can't do without.
I can't exactly figure out what it is.
Then there's nothing. You're sure it is there, but you can't pinpoint it. You're sure it is there.
I guess it is there.
This notion throw away. Yes. That it must be there. I can't be free. No? Like that. It can come from that. But I can't be free yet. I don't feel like I'm there. Something like that. These notions. See if you can throw them away. They can become very attractive after a point. Because they can take on a position of the seeker. I'm the seeker. I'm not free yet. You see? And then the opposite notion, which is, oh, I found it. It is clear. That those are also notions, position. Nothing. Empty of either. See this. Shine some light on it for yourself. You'll see.
It's like a sine wave, as in there are periods when it's no motions, but then you pull it up
Yeah,
again.
but now, like right now,
Now it's no motion.
that's why I satsang every day. So that whatever notions might even have got picked up, we come and have this bath every day. Whatever dust, whatever attachment seems to have been. Two participants raise their hands. Let's hear. Let's hear. Lars can come. Vidya can come. Oh, how many are happy? Okay, okay. You don't really want to come, do you? You're happy with having no notion. That is what the hand raising was. I forget after a minute. Like I said, that I don't know, all these silly jokes are coming today, so forgive me for that. But I was saying once that you can either have a guru or you can be Frank Sinatra. Why? Why? Because what is Frank Sinatra's favorite song? My Way. I did it my way. If you have your way, even if you feel like you know what has to happen, then you have a notion about yourself. Even our spiritual ideas are nothing but a resistance to what is. Are you happy to drop your way, your projection, and partake in the meal that the Sadguru has prepared for you? Playing the game of wanting to be a person, finding enlightenment is like waiting for your beans to sprout while the full 7 course meal is laid out for you. And all you have to give up is your favorite notion about yourself. This is not as dramatic as the story about cutting your head off. Like the Sadguru is this master swordsman who's just cutting your head off. It can sound very strong. So this head is what? It's just your favorite notion about yourself. I am something. I want that something. That is my Guru Dakshina. Whatever you put in that box of something, I want it. Who says the Guru is without desire? I want it. That's why I say don't get fooled that I don't charge money. I have no expectations from you. I want your head. Which is nothing but your favorite idea about yourself. Shine your own light on any of these ideas that you might be unwilling to draw. Make a prayer in your heart. Pray to the Sadguru and say, Father, if this is untrue, let me have the strength to give it to you, to hand it over, because it has no place in my life anymore. And if you feel like your temperament is not like this, it is not devotional, then inquire into this notion which you are unwilling to give away. Who are you? And as much as possible, sometimes just be quiet about this. Especially if there is an habit of there is a habit of getting into spiritual arguments or trying to convince people about something. This, what you're discovering, is too sacred to be used as tools for argumentation or to be seen as something special. There's a question: why this longing to be in satsang? The notion of me wants to dissolve. Actually, it is consciousness playing with this play of satsang because it is done with the notion of me. The notion of me itself is programmed to perpetuate. It will even try to use satsang to try and perpetuate. But now your deeper longing, consciousness done with the play of individuality, now embarks on this new play of satsang to rid itself of individuality. So it's very auspicious, very beautiful if this longing is arising. In the world, it is found that one desire leads to another desire leads to another desire. It's an endless attraction of desire after desire. But when this comes, the longing or this desire for satsang, means something is done playing with the world as if it is an object in the world. Must be something which is prior to objects, because there is no objective benefit here of any sort. I'm not teaching you how to awaken the giant within you. I'm not teaching you how to 1,000 ways to make $1,000,000 or something. None of this is here. It's something that is here versus any of these other things. That must now be done with display of objects. Especially for those who have been here a few times. The first few times you might still wonder, okay, maybe he's just saying like that, but actually I might get some special abilities or some special mantra or something like that. But by now, all of you, most of you, are completely clear that nothing like that is on offer here. Who wants this? Find that one. Nothing which is an object is pointed to here. And yet something is longing for that, isn't it? Okay, good for today. Thank you all so much for being in Satsang today. Sadhguru Shri Muji Ji ki
Jai.
Sadhguru Shri Ananta Ji ki
Jai.
Jai.
And then